Congress for Democratic Change CDC is 17 years old. And today we're going to be looking at the political journey of the CDC 17 years and later. Joining me, I have my man, the uncle at Prime FM, Mr. Theophilus, Mr. Prince Mwamba, and Theo Williams joining us. Prince, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Janice. It's good to be here tonight once more. Of course, I'm sure it's going to be great that the listeners going to enjoy. So it's great to join you tonight with the rest of the team members there from the US. So it's great to be on. Thanks so much for joining me here in Liberia.
Thank you. Joining me also is the chairlady or the president of CDC USA, Mrs. Constance Duopu. Constance, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and I hope we have a civic discussion tonight that we outlay, our successes, our achievement as a political institution, and that the Liberian people will get the information that they need tonight. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Also joining me is Mr. Alex Cuffy. I don't know why they never call you Alexander. Everybody say Alex. Is Mr. Alex Cuffy, who too has, and he will tell us tonight, here at Focus on Liberia, he's a panelist on FOL Marketplace. He also someone who knows a thing or two about this Congress for Democratic Change. Alex, welcome to Focus on Liberia, if you can unmute. Alex, unmute your phone, unmute your line, and welcome to the show. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just having some break. I don't know if it's coming from me.
Everybody else, can you hear me loud and clear? Prince, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you live, Dennis.
I can hear you too.
Okay, so Alex, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for having me. But I was enjoying the song that you're playing. That song was the song for the 2017 campaign. That song rocked the campaign. So every time I hear that song, I'm in high spirit.
Every time you hear that
even
song,
though our spirit, I'm in high spirit. Even though that spirit is being forces are trying to dampen that spirit, but we keep the spirit alive.
Yeah, thank you. And if you're having trouble, get out and come back in and see if that's going to help.
Yeah, I'm changing my whole system. I'm moving to another system so that I can. Yeah.
Okay. So good. So that song is 2017. So maybe we need to play something. No, that song was 11. 2017 looks like this.
Amanda, Aweto. Amanda, Aweto. Maipuye, Iliberia, Maipuye. Chovia. Double.
Trigger.
Aha, y'all want it roll, the punch your giant ready to take over.
Like
Y'all want it roll, beef, Papa come here again. Y'all want it roll, Papa Georgie come here again. Y'all want it roll, Mama Joe come here again. Who want it roll, CD Shen come here again. Now they whole country giant come here so. Better move it roll. I say you're better move your roll. You get about to get away. Pulling back to get away. We come here again. Who wanna roll CDC come here again. Young who wanna roll Joe, we are coming again. Who wanna roll Mama Joe, we come here again. Hoping the roll CDC come here again. Now the whole country giant coming so. Better move on and roll. Say you're better move your roll. Take it away. champion and coming so. You better move on the road. I say you better move your foot. You be Paris and get away. Better get away. Yen say I'm on Bo, I say I come. I table, Mosico corridor. Yen say I'm on Bo, I say I come. CDC shake your body, CDC shake your body, why don't you shake your body, CDC shake your body, acha le oh, see your le oh, acha le oh. Le oh say, le oh say, we'll celebrate. And where most go corridor, go there is I wanna go there. We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. It's a beautiful day. We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. The champion we'll celebrate. It's a holiday, your moment. We'll celebrate. You be brothers in your way, yeah. We'll celebrate. Nothing you can tell us now. We'll celebrate. Nothing you get to tell us now. We'll celebrate. We are inside the breeze.
My name is Fyneah Cole. I am an activist, and you're watching Focus on Liberia.
Welcome back on Liberia again. We are celebrating 17 years of the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, and celebrating CDC 17th. I'm having some issue here. Celebrating CDC 17th. I'm having some issue here. I'm getting feedback here, but let me start with Constance, who is the current chair lady of the CDC USA. Constance, just tell me briefly about yourself, your connection with CDC, how you got with the CDC, and where are you now?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai, and all our viewers tonight. I am Constance Duopu. I am the chairman of CDC USA. And I've been member of CDC USA since it was founded 2005. And I've been member of. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. For some reason, I'm getting feedback. So
Okay.
tell me your current, where are you now when it comes to the CDC structure?
I'm a proud seditian. That's one thing. I am very happy to be a seditian. I think CDC is the only grassroots party in the Republic of Liberia and outside the Republic of Liberia. Currently, I'm serving as the chairman of CDC USA and supporting the re-election of President George Weah second term. That is the mission, that's the goal.
Let me bring in Mr. Cuffy to tell me about his connection with the CDC before and after. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Alex. Alex, can you hear me? Prince, get away from me.
I'm hearing you. I'm here. Sorry, Dennis, I'm hearing you live. I'm hearing you here, but we are not getting Alex here. We don't know what the problem is.
So Prince, take over for me. Let's get your own comment.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, I don't know what to say, but I think this is something where we, Liberians, we have to, Liberians here will have to play a major role into what they have seen and what can they say from the 2011 to 2017 to 2022 with the CDC government in power. And so the question asked tonight, what are the achievements so far, and what are those things to point out to, and some of the things we all learned looking at the from the beginning of the regime in 2018, the issue of the mixed money, some Liberian dollars printed by the Salif government and received by this government, and there were allegations that this money came to country and all were not received. The issue of the 25 million exercise by the government, and many others. So those are things we all learn to be discussed tonight. And so then is the question asked. I'm sure Tango will have the CDC USA chair on the show tonight, but I'm sure Liberians will have more to say into that. But I also think as a person that there are more questions to ask, there are more reasons to justify to Liberians why, where we come from, what are the achievements that far, and what can Liberians stand on to re-elect the government comes 2023. So it's more it raises more question to me than we just look at it as it is and move on. So the first thing I'd like to know from the chair of the institute tonight is what can you point out to?
Prince, hold on first. Let's see if we get Alex clearly now. Alex, are you good? Unmute yourself. We can hear you. Say something, Alex. No, we can't hear you.
And it's having difficulties getting through.
All right. Okay, let's go to Constance now. Prince, go ahead. So Constance, before we get even from the basis, from the foundation, tell us why the CDC was established, its mission, its objective, and whether it is living up to that now. And then we'll come to this question.
Thank you very much. And this is the question that I would like to answer. And I will give you maybe 2 sentences to tell you that CDC indeed is the political party for the people and by the people. CDC was founded for one primary objective: to support President Weah presidency in 2005. That was the first reason. And this is the political party in the history of the Republic of Liberia that was founded for a reason, and that stuck to that reason and made sure that President Weah was elected for this 2017. So that is a big deal and an accomplishment for us. The second reason was Liberia's situation, the leadership, the culture, the elite, the class system. There was no political party in the Republic of Liberia that addressed the issue of the layman. And CDC was founded. People came together and say, you know what? This party does not represent the Liberian people. We are people that believe we all belong to this country and we can work together no matter your level of education, no matter your background, no matter your religious affiliation, but we must form a party that will identify with each and every Liberian. And CDC, the Congress for Democratic Change, was able to do that, and we are still doing that. That's the only political party in the Republic of Liberia where everybody belongs. We nowhere you go in any gathering, you see sedition, and you will not see anybody from anywhere. So I can tell you, we have accomplished a lot. The fact that President George Manneh Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia, CDC, that's one accomplishment, a major accomplishment.
Ellis, can we get you now? Ellis, what happened to you? Are you using a phone? You using a computer? What is it doing? All right. So Constance, you are saying CDC as a party was formed basically to elect George Weah as president.
One of the major people came together because we knew President Weah was the only person in the Republic of Liberia that could bring change. And the reason we funded CDC was funded was to bring change. But I am saying that we came together to elect the change that we wanted, and President Weah was that change.
Thank you.
Because in the eyes of the elite, President Weah was, nobody, it has to be somebody from Unity Party, it has to be somebody from Liberty Party. But we knew that President Weah had all it takes to bring Liberian people together. He was the human magnet, the only one that can bring Liberian together. When he said, today, I'm addressing the nation, everybody, everything will be at a standstill, and they will be waiting to listen to President Weah. And so, CDC, we came together to bring change and liberate our people, and indeed we are doing that.
Thank you very much. I don't know where this terrible feedback is coming from. Oh, all right. I'm trying to fix this. Okay, go ahead, Prince. Your question for...
Yes, thank you, Jenny. So I love the way the chair lady is coming in very strong. So I want to ask a question right in there. If you said the CDC was founded, to elect a President Weah and to get rid of the class system, it raises question. Mm-hmm. So to elect President Weah to do what? What was the objective? What did you intend to achieve?
To change to our people, to unite our people, to build the country, a country where everyone belongs. That was the goal. We need change. We needed change. And the purpose, the sole reason, and we identify, the thing is, we identify the change agent. Mr. President, we are then was the change agent who could speak to Liberian people, who Liberian people could listen to. And indeed, we delivered to the Liberian people. We accomplished that goal. President Weah was elected. He is the President of the Republic of Liberia. And we can see the changes. I know our opponents and other people who do not understand the dynamics of politics in our society, they have little things to say. But indeed, if you ask a market woman, if you ask a layman, when I look in government, I see myself being represented. I don't have to be, but I see myself. When I see Akara Gray, when I see Minister Tue, when I see Minister Ta, I see Constance Duopu. So we wanted change. We didn't want to change. We didn't want a system that is just in place that one group of people feel their needs they are entitled to. Liberia now, anybody can be anything you want. President Weah is a true testimony that if you love your country, if you love your people and you mean well for them, indeed, you will be elected. So we elected for change, and we can see the change.
So before I go back to Janice, also the change also comes with a responsibility. It also comes with preparedness and yes. The requisite qualification. Do you agree with, or do you think the feeling that even though the government trying to get rid of the class system, but the government is also having people who are not qualified, and that's one of the reasons why some of the bad feelings are coming up from the citizens. That's one. The second one there is you talk about for the grassroots, You talk about the market women. Are you also aware that as we speak in Liberia, market women are disenchanted because the 5 and 10 notes of our Liberian dollars are vanished from the Liberian market? Something which they blame the government for. For that. Are you aware of that? How can you address those two?
Oh, I can address those issues. Okay, go ahead.
Before you come in, let me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
I'm getting
Dennis, I got a whole system here, so to switch from the network and all that stuff is a challenge. But I fixed it now. Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Constance.
Okay, so Prince Maluba, let me say this to you. Change is not an event that just takes place one day and is done. No, it's a process. Change, we make the sacrifice today. All the sacrifices that you see the government is making today, tomorrow Liberians will look back and say, yes, indeed, a man or son was born unto us, and he came and he made a difference. President, if you talk about market women being disenchanted, what a percentage you're talking about? Even in your home, your children, when you try to give them direction, they try to stand up against you. No one likes to pay for things easily, especially our African and Liberian culture. We want things to happen overnight. We don't want to pay for it. You have
no, I'm respect, sorry, I'm actually specific with the issue of the disappearance of the 10s and 5s notes on our market. That's one thing that's taking place across the country.
If you look at the money, how money is even handled in Liberia. I am a Liberian. The money you go in the market, people treat the money with absolutely no respect. All the money are deteriorating. People are trying to replace the money. It's not the government fault. What is the citizen? What is our own responsibility to our country? As a Liberian, you are a journalist. What is your responsibility to your country?
Do you see as a fighter? Do you see that?
Prince?
Yeah, I'm asking. I said, do you? I come in.
17 and
yeah, I just want to
be celebrating. Why you can't get it more hot?
No. I got him. Let's go ahead.
No, so do you see that as a fighter? Do you see that as a fighter to undermine the re-election bid of the person you talked about earlier on? Do you see that as a fighter to undermine that?
Let me tell you something. President Weah will be re-elected. All what we see in Liberia right now, it does not even affect one iota of President Weah re-elections. No, it doesn't. In no way. President Weah will overwhelmingly win 2023 election. Yourself, you will not believe it. I'm telling you. What President Weah has done in the Republic of Liberia, no president has done it. No president has done it. So the Liberian people will overwhelmingly re-elect President Weah because they want to see more. They want to make sure that children or wire fee, is taken care of without sweat. They want to make sure that the country is connected and you can see all the roads construction that are going on. They want to make sure that Liberia belongs to all. You just heard the dual citizenship bill. I mean, the only person that can do that for a nation is a president with a vision. And President Weah is the visionary, and we are following him.
Thank you. Oh, man. Hello. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the 17th, or we say this week, 17th anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change, that's CDC. Someone who was also with the CDC or is with the CDC. So let me call Mr. Alex Cuffy to introduce himself and his connection with the CDC. Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Ja. The CDC started around 2004, I mean, the whole idea, there were a group of people in Liberia who were, toying with the idea of forming a political situation around George Weah. And at the same time, there were some folks in the USA, specifically in Minnesota, that were also toying with the idea of forming a political dispensation with George Weah. Also, you will note that when the war officially got over in 2003, Liberians were in different spheres talking about the forward march of our country. So other people were talking to George Weah as well. Now, you will remember that there was an incident where Charles Taylor, former president of Liberia, made some accusation against Weah about phantoming the idea of wanting to be president. And that may not have been false. That may have been true, right? That Weah may have been phantoming the idea even way before he was engaged in 2004. So coincidentally, this group in Minnesota and the group in Monrovia kind of have the same mindset. Then George was invited to Minnesota. And before that time, I was a personal friend of George Weah.
Were you part of those two, any one of those groups?
Let me flow.
Okay.
So I was a friend of George Weah before then. George Weah and myself, I was based in Ghana, traveling, based in Accra, and working with in West Africa, Nigeria, English speaking and some French speaking countries. So those days people used to come to my house. We used to watch George Weah, and I mean he was the shining star those days when at the time our country was in chaos. So I went to Togo, and then we became friends, and then the late Patrick Chair, he and myself were friends because we speak the same dialect and stuff like that. So we used to hang out once in a while, especially when he came to play games. So when he came to Minnesota as a friend, we met. He and myself sat down in Patrick Chair's house, the late Patrick Chair, and we had this conversation. Now he disclosed to me that he was invited by some group of people. And then we had this conversation. So yes, then I became part of the whole process. Because we had a conversation and I was like, don't do this, do it. And we had a conversation. And then I thought that, you know what? Take it or leave it. This guy is popular, he has potential. Whether he has the wherewithal to lead is another thing. So I think, we should put the human resources, we should put the right structure around him if this is what he wants to do. And at that time, we thought that he embodied the aspiration of the Liberian people in mass. So, leads not to say we needed to put that human resource, that organization around him. So some of us decided to guide the process, and hence we form part of the process.
Thank you. And what does that mean? So will you look at that as the formation of the CDC, or it was only coming to a petition or ask George Weah to run?
That was the formation of the CDC. That was the beginning of the formation of the CDC.
So how did we come to the fast forward and talk to us about the formation, the actual formation itself? Let's say George Weah accepted. Take us from there.
So the guys in Monrovia were all about, petitioning George Weah. For me and some other guys, we were all about preparing we used to call it 180 degrees. Sometimes we argued about 180 degrees, 360-degree turnaround. We needed to give this guy a turnaround. If this guy is a guy, we, because the wave, the revolution, the wave was too high. There were people in Moravia, there were people in the United States who were, clamoring to petition this guy and to follow him, and the popularity was swelling. He had popularity already, so this whole idea was swelling. And some of us were, can we do something to fix this thing first? Can we fix this guy first before we let him out there? But the wave was going, the train was moving, it was not stopping. So some of us was like, we got to fix this thing, we got to be, and if we have to fix it, we had to be part of it. Mm-hmm. So he went to Liberia, he got petition, he came back, and then the group in the United States was all about forming organization, and eventually the organization was formed. There was a connection between the group in the USA and the group in Moravia. So therefore, the party, we were on this side. We were doing most of the paperwork and stuff like that. And then the guys in Moravia were doing their part. And eventually, they registered a party called the Congress for. Initially, it was the National Democratic Congress, and then I think some party was having that name, so it was changed to Congress for Democratic Change. And it was registered party.
We also want to welcome Mr. Josh Kanetule, someone who also knows a thing or two about the CDC, and he's here as we commemorate the 17th anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. Josh, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I'm so exhausted, but it takes me almost 2 hours to get home from work, man. And if it rains, it becomes worse. Yeah, buddy, I'm here. It's nice being here. I want to say it's a pleasure to form a part of this discussion. And I know I was listening to Alex. I'm just going to listen for a while to get a drift of how things are going, and then I can make a contribution.
Right. No, your first contribution is, and if you can adjust your camera a little bit so you can come down, right. So your first contribution is, everyone, sometimes people like to be connected with success. So now CDC is in the driver's seat, so it's very easy for somebody to say, I was in the formation of the CDC. For you, what is your own connection with the CDC or the person Josh Weah or anything as we commemorate, or what do you remember from the start about CDC as a party?
From what I know, the whole idea of CDC being a party, and it was just a couple of guys that had or desire, or they felt they could try something politically. And I know the information with me, the discussion went around. I even know that in the very genesis, before even the whole idea was pitched to George Weah, and he became a part of that whole undertaking, there were other people that had engaged him to become a part of, a political coalition or collaboration to come and see how they could contest for leadership in Liberia. And there were many good guys, well-intentioned guys. Well-intentioned, quote unquote, because what had turned out to be the reality is that most of these guys were looking for an opportunity to get into power to enrich themselves. And it's not unique to them. It's one of the things that ails our nation when people vie for political office. They don't vie for political office to improve or benefit the Liberian people or improve the material well-being of the Liberian people. They vie for political office because they want to self-aggrandize. and many of them will find a figure that they can ride on. And George Weah was that coattail. Unfortunately, if Ellen was not in the picture in 2005, George Weah would have been president of Liberia. And if you ask me, the entire story that came out that George Weah was defrauded of that first election is a reality. First, it was Bronskin for Ellen to go second round. She didn't have those votes, and then it was Weah for her to become president. And because the international community felt that George Weah was ill-equipped, and they felt he wasn't ready to handle Liberia coming out of the Chancellor era and the intermittent period of Judith Bryant, they felt he was not ready to steer. Because Liberia was broken.
Yeah.
There was nothing working. So they needed somebody who had the ability to put into place structures and systems that could have the similitude of good governance. And they felt that if he came, the jostling for position would cause so much chaos that we wouldn't be able to escape the chaos that had already been established in Liberia for all the years of the Civil War and the Chancellor era. So I believe, before I end, I believe he was defrauded of that, but it is what it is.
Thank you. And before I come to you, Madam Chair Lady, let me go back to Alex. And Alex, this has been the general theme, and Tule hit on that. There is this concept of a useful idiot, and I'm not calling the president an idiot. People should please understand that. But people want, in politics, this concept of useful idiot is this man is kind of blind. We can use him and get to power, and the end justify the means. So if we get there, we can do X, Y, or Z, but we know that he has his limitation, but he's popular, so we can use him, and when we get there, we can fix things up. Did that come up during the deliberation, or is that something that you are aware of, that people decided to use George Weah to get to power?
And Tule is right. He hit a lot of nail on a lot of heads, right? Those things went on throughout the process, right? And when I, as a friend, when we sat in the late Patrick Cheer's living room, we sat there for hours, he and myself. Patrick was fixing other things, he was doing things, he was running around. So I kept him company, and we had this conversation, all right? Like I said, because there were other people who wanted to partner with him, like Tule said. But some of these people, they wanted him to go as vice president, they wanted to use his popularity, right? There were other people, and I saw that. So I'm like, brother, don't do this. That was my first approach. Don't do this. But then he sounded like he was convincing, and then, back and forth, all that stuff. Then finally he said, my friend. And he spoke through to me. He said, my friend, I want you to help me. I want you to organize, I can speak the crew. He spoke to me. I want you to organize.
Yes, speak it. Go ahead, speak the
resource. So I'm like, I sat back and said, wow. Because if you look at it, the wave was moving. And whether you like it or not, he would have followed some group anyway. Some group would have used his popularity. Or he would have followed this other side. So I'm like, you know what? I got to fix this thing that is about to happen. Because I saw, danger in the waiting. So
what do you mean, danger in the waiting?
Question. If they want to use this guy's popularity, is he ready for what he's trying to get himself into, or people are trying to get him into? Because mind you now, like I said back, when Charles Taylor made that statement that George Weah had presidential ambition, that may have been true. So even before those people started calling him, it appears that was in the back of his head. Okay? So it being in the back of his head, true or false, but at least we know that other people were approaching him, and this revolution was about to happen, you like it or not. So the thing was, hey, I gotta join in to help this guy, to help this situation. So we
For
joined.
fear that if I don't help him, there'll be a train wreck.
There will be a team wreck.
Okay. Thank you.
Unfortunately, fast forward when we got to the end, when we got to the finish line, the train wrecked.
Thank you. Madam Chair Lady, there is also the same question to you. This thing that people came around Judge Weah because they knew he was popular, and election is about numbers. So if this guy is so popular, we can get there. So even though I know Judge Weah is not fit to do this job, he doesn't have the requisite qualification, but we're going to push him and we're going to be around him. But when he gets there, I myself am there. So people, in other words, they were riding on his coattail. Did that really happen?
No. Oh, let me just say something to our viewers and the panelists and our Liberian people. President Weah was destined to become president of the Republic of Liberia. By God. It was destined.
How do you know
Okay,
that?
yes, hold on. I'm not here to, I don't like to be religious. I don't want to go to the Bible, but it was destined. If you look at his life history, he was preparing himself for this day. So when people are saying that, let me have, I think it was an opportunity that President Weah gave a lot of people to be a part of this history. People did not help President Weah like the way, some people perceive it to be. Or if you say people thought he was not qualified, give me the qualification. What are the qualifications to become the President of the Republic of Liberia? And if you say President Weah is not qualified, President Weah knew, President Weah was ready then, he is ready now to lead the Liberian people. And here is what I would say. When people come around you, sometimes you say, oh yeah, you have to safeguard yourself. Human beings, some people want to use people, other people think they can, just come around and get the glory. President Weah worked so hard. And the fact that I am glad everybody on this panelists, all the panelists agree that CDC was formed to elect, to help President Weah for the 2005 campaign, his presidential campaign. So that tells you that this president that we have is a visionary, even though he was playing soccer, but he saw Liberia, like this country needs a savior. In a sense, not comparing to Jesus, but someone that will bring Liberian people together, that will help build Liberia, that will take Liberia to the next place. And you people can disagree. It doesn't bother me, but I know in everyone, the only thing people were blinding their eyes because they fail to realize that change doesn't come easily. And if you look back, history will repeat itself. When Liberian people thought they could just use gun violence to bring change because they wanted quick change, it didn't work.
So Mrs. Gbotoe,
It didn't work.
let me ask you this: Did Judge Weah actually decide that he was going to run for president, or people asked him to run?
That question, I think you would the only person that can answer that question the right way will be President Weah. I believe President Weah decided that he wanted to be president because he was the right person. Had it not been that way, he would not be president. Remember, 2005, President Weah did not win. Sedition was so upset. 2011, Sedition decided that Winston Tubman came in. Like I tell you, this was destined for President Weah to become president of the Republic of Liberia. You like it or not. People decided, talk him into, running as a vice president of Wisdom Tottenham. I mean, talk him into it again because he loved the country. He loved the party. He said, if that's what you people ask me to do, I will do it to keep the institution. You saw what? It was bad. It was totally bad. The people did not even vote for CDC much because they knew who has the vision. They knew who the chosen person is. President Weah is the chosen one. He is the chosen one. And so we saw Winston Tottenham. It was a disaster for CDC. Disaster.
CDC,
We did not even appeal to the people.
CDC,
So I can tell you, President Weah knew, President Weah had a vision for the Republic of Liberia. President Weah knows what it means to lead people. He lived that life and he decided he wanted to be president of the Republic of Liberia. And today, he is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Because he's the only one who has a dream.
Hold on. You finish? I want to go to Tule so when you're done.
Okay, no, let me learn. Tule, you can be patient. Let me tell you this.
But Mrs. Duopu, you've been talking for more than 5 minutes now. So
I want to hammer this down. Yeah. That President Weah is a visionary. President Weah knew that he will become the president of the Republic of Liberia. And so he carried himself as a presidential candidate. In everything he did, he exceeded above expectation.
Thank you. Let's talk about the ideology of the CDC. Every group, and Tule, I'll come to you. Let's talk about the ideology of the CDC. What does CDC believe, and how is that ideology, that belief, that thinking, that mindset, how is that eminent in the CDC we have today? Let me start with you again, Charlotte.
Okay. The first thing you will see when you talk about CDC is the people. The people, the power of the people. When the people speak, we believe that God has spoken.
Okay.
The people. And every good governance talk about the people, the good of the people. So the first thing about CDC is the people. We call it a big tent party where everybody belongs.
Thank you. And Tule, hold your peace. Let me go to somebody who was in the beginning. What was the foundation, the ideology? What was the CDC built upon, Mr. Cuffy? And how is that seen in the party today? Whatever that was.
So at the end of it all, it was about, whether you call it power to the people, whether you call it service to the people, whether you call it, because at a certain point, right, a lot of people, the genuine people, believe that George Weah at that time was an embodiment of their aims and aspirations, especially after the war and all the things that happened to the ordinary people, right? And then also some of the non so ordinary people. So at that point, there was this wave of belief that we needed this person to come and for lack of a better word, redeem us from our degradation. So they believed that George Weah was one of them. The boy who came from Gibraltar, the boy who played football, the boy who pulled himself by the bootstrap. So it's like big brother, small brother, or whatever you call it, that if he can, I too can. Or if he did it, he can help us. So people saw him as the embodiment of their aspiration. Now, is it a reflection today? I would say no. Today, no. As of sometimes around 17 election, I personally begin to see that what I was trying to avert 12 years ago is about to happen. Is this what I signed up for? Is this what I wanted to be part of? Is this what I fought this fight? My spirit started to, so if you to answer your question directly, from 12 years back from 2017, what we taught is not what we're seeing after 2017.
So the party really did not build around an ideology. It was, Judge, we are the Savior is going to deliver us from all our troubles. And
no.
Therefore, if there is no Judge, there is no CDC.
No. Because we wanted to form an organization that would represent the aspiration that we thought we wanted to deliver for the Liberian people. So we built, party manifesto. We did a lot of work. Documents. We had a lot of sessions, workshops. We had a lot of things going on. A lot of stuff was going on. And a lot of people were involved. That's why sometimes I say, CDC, it is not short of qualified people or competent people. But unfortunately, when we got to the finish line, like I said, we did not put those competent people and those qualified people to work.
Thank you. Let me go to Judge Tully. I know a lot being said there, Judge, talking about the CDC ideology and talking about all other things. And you wanted to respond to the chairleader, so please go ahead.
Okay, to respond to the chairlady, one of the things I always say we do on this show is to make sure that our facts are right. She said George Weah was a visionary. George Weah has never been a visionary. Never. A visionary is one that espouses his ideology and he articulates them for his people to hear. George Weah has been a passenger of the CDC train that Ellis Cuffy then established. The thing that happened here is this. When they took this guy, it was a populist movement, not based on ideology, but based on the popularity of the individual. Not based on vision, but based on, I'm not saying you didn't have visionaries amongst them. There were people amongst them, there was a lot of good guys amongst them. That's just the reality. But like I told Asif I took about one time, I say the mistake you are making is to believe that when George Weah becomes president, he will use your brain to run Liberia. That's what I told Asif I took about. I say that's the mistake you are making, that you believe that when George Weah becomes president, he will use your brain to run Liberia. And I don't know, it was like prophetic. When George Weah became president, he cut him off. Okay? Let me go back to 2005. When George Weah
he cut a lot of people off.
Yeah, he cut a lot of people off. But when he lost in 2005, there was commotion. I'm not saying they say I was there. I wasn't part of CDC, but I was part. I sat in Charles Bromsky's office at the hotel when George Weah came to ask us. No, it wasn't now. Madam Sedi at the hotel. At the office on Benson Street, George Weah came to ask Bromsky. Salisa was there. I was there. Several other people were there to ask Bromsky for his support for second round. When George Weah lost that thing, there was commotion. So ECOWAS stepped in. International community stepped in. Eugene Nangbe and George Weah took a trip to Abuja. I don't know if Alex is aware of that. And that trip, money changed hands. The trip was ECOWAS called George Weah and said, look, you are a populist, you are a popular person. You can one day become president, but we believe it's time for you to go and fulfill what we consider as the educational part of your life, so that tomorrow when you become president, you have ticked off that box. That's how he went back to school. After 2005 election, Dennis, when it comes to the issue of the manifesto, of the vision of the CDC, it has been lacking. They did not do a good job in getting that established. But also specifically, I want to speak specifically to the man called Weah. That man has no governing philosophy. He has no articulated ideology of governance. In other words, even though I wasn't in Liberia in 2017, but I watched because I used to be on the radio at Kings FM. So I still have my boys and I was privy to everything that was going on. George Weah did not tell his people, forget about the Liberian people, but the citizens that gather under the sycamore tree, as you call them, Dennis, Sycamoreans. He did not articulate any plan of what he was going to do with Liberia. Only give promises. Only give promises. That's all. CDC has been like a dream, a mirage that somebody reaches for, but isn't really there. So we took grossly, she said, what are the requirements for somebody to be? One of the requirements for somebody to be a successful leader is that he has to know how things work. He has to know how governance works. He must have a working knowledge of governance. George Weah doesn't have that. Another thing, he must have individual fiscal, one, and personal discipline. He has neither. So there are key things, key ingredients that we can pinpoint and say this guy didn't have it. He did not take the 12 years. So even when he went into the Senate, for instance. Let me tell you something today. I was one of the first persons with Alex, even though he blocked me today, Alexander Bearded and Silvico Basigia. We called George Weah on the phone and we asked him to run for the Senate. We're one of the first people that asked him to run for the Senate. They had a different motive. My motive was not good. You know the motive I had? I knew the man was unfit. I knew the man didn't like working, and I knew he didn't have any governing philosophy. I felt that if the man became senator, the Liberian people would see how unfit he is, and they would not vote for him for president. But I was lying. The people saw the man did not do anything. He was just a pedestrian as a senator, but they still voted for him. And what do they expect? We have 5 years of capital projects without any governing philosophy. Let me tell you something, Mrs. Duopu. Hunger coming next year. Hunger is coming next year globally, not only for Liberia. Food prices will be astronomical and will be out of the reach of the common people. Your government, thank God I'm talking to you today, man. This one is not politics. Please tell them to tell the Liberian people to grow food. Let them stop buying cars or anything. Let them put that money so that people can grow food because hunger coming next year.
Thank you, Mr. Tule. Let me give the chair a little chance to.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
Prince can come in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tule. Let me take this time to educate you and your followers. CDC-led government, the pro-poor agenda is working for the Liberian people. What I see from you and what I see from a lot of Liberian people is the idea that if it is not me, I cannot follow. In leadership, there are people who lead, there are followers, and there are people who implement. President Weah is a visionary. First of all, if you say he doesn't have anything to offer, you saw the man's professional career. Everything that man did, he did it with excellence. And today, even the presidency, you see the executive mansion, I'm just going to take you right there. For how many years it been dormant? Who? All the money that was pumped into that executive mansion for 12 years. But go and see President Weah. We are not even 6 years. Go there now, you will see the difference. Mr. Tude, when you talk about roads connectivity in the Republic of Liberia, this government is doing more than any government has done. You talk about the qualification of a leader, the qualification of this. Let me take you back, right? I lived my entire life in the Republic of Liberia in Sano County. Years before we were children. Let me see the qualified leader Liberia has ever had that had vision. Liberia is 200 years old. You cannot leave from Sano County to the capital city during rainy season. And you expect, and we are doing it, President we are is working on those things, but you expect all those things, those problems to be resolved. Every society has its own ills. Even in the great United States, you talk about food, rice. I used to buy, I used to buy $19. It's almost $45 now. So that's a global issue. It's not a Liberia man thing or this, it's a global issue. And you know what? George, I like the comparison you people be making, like, oh, Liberia was then. Liberia had the ability to feed herself when we had everything in place. President, we are just took over 5 years. A lot of people are growing food more than Liberian ever grew food in the past. We had the LPMC, we had people, corporations that were growing food. Now individuals are involved because of education. The pro agenda is working. I am so sorry that you, and I know you are disappointed because a lot of people thought President Weah will be president. They will not work for something, it will be handed to them. Power is not given to people free. You work for it, you are committed, you are loyal, and they give it to you. And President Weah was a committed man. He's committed to his country. He loved his country, and power was given to him. Those who felt that they supported him and they entitled, every Liberian will feel entitled. But you know what? Few are chosen. There's a season. If even you supported President Weah and he didn't appoint you, it didn't mean that your effort and everything wasted because it's not you. Think about the other Liberians that are working, that are making difference in the country. A Liberian situation is not one issue. It's not one issue. The very so-called educated people destroy the country and they want the people to give them power on a silver platter. We did it. We gave it to Charles Taylor. Nothing he did. We gave it to Eddie. Nothing. This is President Weah season. You either get on board or you watch and be disappointed, and pretty soon most people will just be in depression because the fact is President Weah is the president. And he will do things, he will make changes. You can refuse to acknowledge the good things that he's doing. It will not change it. We are making progress, and those so-called educated people who believe in the division, divide and rule, you bring the people, you use the people, and then you bring. This time around, we elected somebody we believe in, and he is the president, and he is leading Liberia to the next level.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Let me go to Prince now. I know Prince. Prince, you are on the ground in Monrovia, and you have watched the movement of CDC since 2005 till now. My question to you is, right now, okay, let me let you ask your question first. Go ahead, Prince. Any of our panelists.
Thank you so much. Yes, I have a question for the chair lady, and I have a question for Mr. Tule. Madam Chair lady, we're talking about 17 years since you organized this organization, the CDC, and then almost 6 years into leadership, into the presidency. And about 16 months to go to elections in 2023. I am more interested in cataloging, pinpointing what we achieved, rather than just telling us how we form and we done well. I want us to be specific. I want us to point, because those are the debating Liberia here. Those are things when discussed. Maybe taking it step by step, maybe talking about the rule of law, how we achieved in our area. Maybe talking about human resource and infrastructure development, what we've done. Maybe talking about living up to the achievement of the proper agenda that was crafted by the government. What we've done there, because there were specific things.
Proposed agenda, and first of all, to alleviate poverty.
I will be interested in knowing. I'll be interested in knowing why, in 16 months to come, why we should go back to the ballot box and re-elect this government. What can we pinpoint? So, Mr. Tule, My
Yeah.
question to
Hold on, hold
you,
on. Let
you
the
were
chairlady
a
answer.
part of the formation.
Hold on, Prince. Let the chairlady answer. You will go to
All right,
Tule.
no problem. I have a question for Mr. Tule.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we talk about a proper agenda.
All right, no problem. I
We
understand.
talk about alleviating poverty. When we talk about alleviating poverty, it's not just to make sure that no one in the Republic of Liberia is not hungry. Even in the great United States, there are homeless people. There are people who go to bed without food, even though they got food shelter around here. So when you go to Liberia or you are in Liberia, one, there is no, you see women, even the economy in Liberia, the women are carrying that thing. The women are productive. The self-awareness that you can be whatever you want to be if you put in work. You see women who are self-sufficient. You go to Liberia, you see businesses, Liberia-owned businesses. That is what we are talking about. The way to alleviate poverty is, wait, hold on, is to empower your people to take over the economy. So in so
I
many
want to be specific. Sorry, Madam Chair, this is how to do the public. I want to be specific with empowerment. I want you to be specific. When we done empowerment, maybe because
I just told you,
if you just talk about
businesses. Liberian-owned businesses. You see, even now, you go to Liberia, you are renting hotel, guest houses that are owned by Liberians. You get contracts that Liberians are taking care of. That's one. You look in government, you see a lot of women are in power. They are in government working. That's one thing. It's not just the main game. Hold on. You get a Ganta or highway. You can leave from Liberia straight to Ganta. You get them working on the road to Saklepi. You get them working on the road to Saniquele.
the Ganta highway.
You talk about rule of law. You talk about rule of law. Let me come there. You talk about rule of law. Liberia, you are not seeing people going in the street fighting and chopping people necks off. No. The opposition, you stick to one thing. Even in the great United States, people get missing, people get killed. Those murder cases are not solved in one. There are some cases in America, 20 years now, they have not solved it. I'm coming. I sympathize with those who die and people have this suspicion. It is our hope that the government will continue to work, but it's not unique to Liberia. It's not unique. You do not go in the street in Liberia and somebody just kill you. No. So there is rule of law in Liberia. We just had a bicentennial. Thousands of people went into Liberia. They came back safely. So how can you, because they killed one black man in America or one man died in New York, you will say there is no rule of law in America? Let us sharpen the contradiction. Let us not just demonize this government because we feel one person feel they entitled to this presidency and George Weah is not entitled. I can tell you, we have made gain. You look at the University of Liberia, you saw the renovation work, you saw the pavement. That's why Liberian people should re-elect President Weah. Tottenham time, did we have that? No. Ellen Johnson time, did we have that? No. Why should you re-elect President Weah? Your children wire fees are paid by the President of the Republic of Liberia. Why should we re-elect President Weah? President Weah is reconstructing and constructing housing unit for the poor. Why should we re-elect President Weah? President Weah, Liberia is 200 years old. He just built the first invisible park, or park that everybody can go to and say yes. That's a sign of attraction. Why should we re-elect President Weah? Civil government, their salaries, civil service employees, salaries are current. Why should we re-elect President Weah? I can go on and on.
Yeah, thank you, but we get the drift. Back to you, Prince.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Prince. Go and tell the people, Prince, use your platform and tell the people to re-elect President Weah, because President Weah is the only person that can deliver Liberian people and make Liberia to be where we want it to be. President Weah is the only president who is
Madam Chair, listen up.
political affiliation. Why should we re-elect President Weah? Re-elect President Weah.
You already said it. Let's go back to
two-way conversation here, Madam
Thank you,
Chair.
thank you, Madam Chair.
I forgot about you, George.
I see you too strong tonight. So I just let you to be thinking about these few things as I go to Mr. Thule. Of recent, the issue of the electricity at the RIA is something that have given a country very bad image internationally. You have to think about that. I earlier mentioned about the vanishing of the 5 and tanks note from the Liberian market. It is stepping, it's affecting the economy across the country. That's something you should think about that is actually making the locals to feel hurt about your government as we go to 2023. Mr. Thule, this is my question to you. From the onset of the show, even though I went out a few minutes due to internet problem, but during the introduction of the show, you made the listeners understand that you were part of this formation. You guys sat together.
No, I wasn't. I think that Cuffy was.
Oh, that Mr. Ellis, sorry, Ellis. So what is your greatest disappointment as a Liberian citizen since the insertion of the CDC government? What are you more disappointed of that you think it should be a reason for which the CDC shouldn't be re-elected in 2023 October?
Prince, thank you for that question. My answer, I'm disappointed.
Oh, you are not?
I'm not. You know the reason why? I'm not surprised. I was beating this drum way before 2017 that the man was unfit for office. The man was not interested in working. Let me give you one. Look. I have watched this guy, right? This guy scares me. Madam Salif gave this guy $250,000 when she appointed him as peace ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
The man had football game at that Alpha Old Timers football field. The one at Rehab Road there. And Alpha Old Timer there.
Yeah.
The one on Rehab Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man had football game when the man got that money. And that time, before that time, when I worked at Lone Star Cell and I ran procurement. And I know fully well I was close to the guys who did all the operations for Mr. Uri. And I had come out of politics into the corporate world, but I was still go right across the road, right? I used to see mobile model, then all of them come in the yard. And the boys told me how they used to go and buy a ticket for the man. Mr. Uri used to send them to buy a ticket for that man to go up and down. I'm just giving you some stories here quickly, Prince.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have any expectation of this man, Prince. I won't kid you, because I knew the man did not build capacity. I know the man is not an academic. He doesn't read. I don't know how many books that man had read, but I'm sure he read 5. And one of them will be SSO Geo book. That particular man, no, serious point, I'm telling you so. I watched revolutionaries lead countries from bad positions to good. I watched Lee Kuan Yew. I've read his biography. His autobiography. I've read his autobiography. I've read biographies about him. I have watched movies about him. The same with Rollins, the same with Sankara, the same with Paul Kagame. I have watched guys take wounded countries, broken countries, and made them strong. But the only reason why they were able to do so because these guys had powerful, articulated ideology. They had reasons why they wanted to lead. And when they became leader, all they talked about from the morning to the night was their vision. They brought the people on board. They educated the people. They sensitized the people. This guy, when the man became senator, Prince, the man never had one town hall, one town hall to sit with his people and address them. And I don't think Dillon had done either. And I voted for him. The people voted for him, and I watched. I said, maybe the man will go to Newtown and West Point, places where he has majority support, to talk to his people and say, thank you for making me president. He never did. Because the man is afraid to open his mouth. Why? All these years we talked about, the man went to school, yes. But who went to school for the man? Let's be honest here. Okay? The man did not.
I don't know until you tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, Prince. People did the man's schoolwork.
Like someone did your work too, right, Prince? Someone did your work.
Hold on,
Mr.
cheerleader.
Duopu, let me
Hold on,
finish.
cheerleader. Let him
The
finish.
man did not take time to build capacity, Prince. He didn't take time to build capacity. So after all these years, we placed the man there. They may not even interested in the work. The person who's running Liberia, that McGill, do you know that the University of Liberia students boo McGill and Twe? I think it was today, and call them rogue today. You know the reason why? And I can tell you one thing, Prince, those guys who did that bullying, majority of them are the people who voted we are into power. But the people are fed up. You see, what the cheerleader failed to realize and failed to express here is this. Any government that got money can institute capital projects. Most of what George Weah is completing were things that were already signed, contracts that were signed by Madam Salif for these roads. It was under his tenure now that the roads have been completed. But the roads have not translated and are not translating directly economically into the lives of the people. I'm talking about Liberian people as a whole.
Yeah.
The question we ask, how have his policies translated into the lives of the people? She mentioned something, she said women are being empowered. They were being empowered by themselves. Madam Salif, Prince, Madam Salif failed to invest in small and medium scale enterprises. What we call the liberalization law that empowers small and medium scale enterprises was thrown away by Madam Salif. She did not revise that law. She did not make sure that the national legislature empowered that law by giving a revision and sending it out there to empower the people to protect what I consider the Liberian content in our economy. Okay? So our people, another thing again, the people you see going to China and things that they have to take loans from the bank at crazy interest rates, 17%, 20%, 11%, 14% interest rates, which in certain cases made the business non-viable, untenable. It destroyed the business. You saw that bank that right on Johnson Street, the Access Bank, giving out loans at rates that were not tenable. As a result, the people market broke down and they defaulted on the loans. The reason why I'm going this way, Liberians, out of their own resilience, continue to push, to struggle, to survive. This government have not carved out policies. Mrs. Duopu, agriculture, for instance, you say people are plenty. It's not true. Those who are planting are doing it out of their own struggles. The government does not have an agriculture policy that targets agriculture, that puts money down and say this money is going to the farmers so that we will get them implements, we'll get them seeds, we'll get them different kinds of loan, we'll collectivize them in cooperatives to make sure, and we'll work with them. We talk with them, we say, listen, you only can plant certain amount of palm oil, you only can plant certain amount of rubber, you must plant food. We must have food. Because let me tell you something, Mrs. Duopu, food is a national security issue. And we're going right now. If we don't import food, we can't feed ourselves for a month in Liberia. Mrs. Duopu, let me tell you something. When you go to buy gari in Liberia, majority of the gari we buy in Liberia that don't have sand in it, it came from across the board from Gbotoe. I'm not saying they say. I've been at Gbotoe and I see the trucks come from Sierra Leone. You know the reason why? Because Sierra Leone, in the 90s, after their conflict, the president initiated what they call the cassava initiative for them to plant massive amounts of cassava for industrial reasons and for food purposes. And we go there to buy cassava to bring. We go Guinea to buy pepper, dry pepper, and bring to Liberia. Let's start joking with ourselves. This government, unfortunately for Weah, what happened? His government was hijacked by two individuals. They used fear. They caused him to be paranoid, and they narrow his cycle so that people cannot give him the advice that would make him the better leader. McGill and Twe, they even managed. Let me tell you something, Mrs. Duopu, today. McGill and Twe have managed to cut off Mobile Molu. Not that he's any better person anyway. And Akara's great. Now that he's also another better person, he's all talk and no substance. They managed to cut those two from the immediate cycle of Weah. The three persons that Weah revolve around are Jefferson Koji, to a lesser extent and to a greater extent, McGill and Twe. And 2 of them are lacking in experience. They are lacking in knowledge. They don't know how things work. So as a result, the government is floundering. The people are annoyed. The people are angry. They voted for the areas that voted. The people that voted for Dillon for two were that high seditions, and the people are fed up. And he just raised something about the absence of the $5 and $10 for on the market. People are angry, and I just said to you this, and the response you could give me that more people are growing food now than 200 years ago. That is the reason why this government is failing, because you are not being honest. You know for the way, and I said to you, ma'am, I said hunger is coming next year. You are one of those that have the ears of the powers that be in Liberia. Tell them to tell the people to go plant food massively. We have the rains right now. Massively.
Thank you, Mr. Tule.
Thank you, Dennis. Before you leave, I mean, here, let me throw my last one to the cheerleader there. So, Madam Cheerleader, this is the last one for my end. Maybe I want to make a closing comment. So, I'm sure you have seen the budget, the 2022 budget that have been passed by the legislature and signed by the president. I just want to just focus on the legislative budget, beginning with the speaker, the pro tem, and the deputy speaker. In our budget, the pro tem has $2+ million. The speaker has $2+ million, and the deputy speaker has $1+ million. In your opinion, as a strong supporter of the CDC government, is that budget a pro-poor budget? That's one. The second one to that is the President Weah's inaugural speech that Liberians won't be spectators in their own economy. Do you think we'll live up to that? Those are my 2 last concerns.
Okay, thank you very much. And when President Weah said that Liberians will not be spectators in their own economy, we are living to that. It depends on how you define and what are your expectations and your definition of that. In order for you to be entrusted with money, you have to show, you have to present your business plan, you have to give how you're going to pay this money back. It's a process. And a lot of people don't understand it. I think people just see is the entitlement thing, Liberian people. I am so disappointed in my brother today, who is sitting down there talking about, oh, the president has not read any book, the president cannot articulate. You saw the progressive, they articulate.
Forget.
No.
Forget too late. Answer my question.
No, wait. Liberian men and women want to listen to all hail Liberia, hail, nothing to show for it. The president should just keep delivering speeches to you. The president is busy working. The president is more of suspend than just talking. Let me let you know, Tule, I am so, you are not used to this. You have not seen your age group like two of them in government in such a, influential position. That's one of the things that a lot of Liberian people, they think it should be them. It shouldn't be my.
Do you think it's disappointing?
No, hold on.
I was asking, what I want to know is that you think Tule is speaking this way because you are not caught on board?
The thing is, everybody turn their attention to Minister Maggie and Minister Tue. You think it's the monkey work Bible draw thing you want to do? You sit in the comfort of your home. You have nothing to contribute to an institution. You have nothing to contribute to your people.
I am not a solution there.
And you just want people to call you because you live in the United States. You claim to you telling people, yeah, the president did not do his work. If you are claiming that, then I will counter claim that you yourself went to school. You did not sit down to write one paper. Why do you people wouldn't believe that it should be you? It doesn't work. That power is not handed to people. It's not given to people. Power is given to people who work for it.
This is not personal.
Yes,
it's not personal. So you came at me twice.
Yes, I will.
Guess why? It ain't moving me because you know what? Let me tell you the truth. Dennis, hold on small.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
you see, you just cut me off. You just cut me off. Well, let me land.
You're making it tasteless.
No. You
Mr.
were carrying on your personal attack, talking about people hate. How can you come on the platform and say people hate Minister Tue and Minister Maggie?
Oh, they just booing today. I got a video.
Madam
They
Chair,
just booing today. They call you roll. The boys following all through the compound.
Hold on, Mr. Tule. Madam Chair, Lady Prince ask a question. Please go straight to Prince's question because we don't have much time. We want to take callers. So please answer the question quickly.
Prince, let me tell you this.
And you have 30 seconds to complete.
Yeah, Liberian people will see the substance. Liberian people are not used to seeing good governance. They are not used to seeing the result. They only believe in talking. If you talk about the budget is there. It was passed. It was voted upon. People discuss it. So if you think it's justifiable, was the budget. They itemize it. They explain. It's self-explanatory. Whatever the budget that you have problem with, the amount. Have you looked at other budgets that were passed before? It's self-explanatory. Itemize the thing.
Thank you, Madam
allocate the funds.
Thank you. That's understood. All right. While preparing for this show, I got this from someone who sent it to me because we advertised a show and they wanted to. So I want to read it and then you give me your comment. I don't know where Mr. Ellis Cuffy is. He dropped off and we can get him. So talking about the 17 years, this is what was sent to me and I want your response. It says 17 years and what the Liberians get in return. You use the US dollars mop up to launder the missing Liberian dollar. Sold diplomatic passports to international criminals. Increased inflation. Increased unemployment. Failed pro-poor agenda that led to an additional 2% of Liberians falling into poverty. For the first time in recent history, the president of Liberia cannot meet a sitting US president. Misappropriation of donor funds. Misappropriation of road funds. U.S. report shows the government is actively participating in money laundering with Prince Johnson. And all the while, President flies in private jet and party like a rock star. 17 years, eh? What's your response?
My response to that is just unfortunate that person listed what they perceive in their mind. And again, I'm not being personal, but like speaking like my brother that I have here, George Tule, because no society is free of any ill. And all those things are allegation, mere allegation. People who feel they are not, so they concord these stories and they put it out there and our people don't read and they don't understand what is going on. If you go to Liberia, the number of persons going to Liberia has tripled since this president came into power, since the CDC led government. Go and see what Liberians are doing in Liberia because they trust the system. Nobody will go to Liberia who don't believe that their property will be secure, they will be protected, will go to Liberia. So my response to that is baseless accusation, false accusation, man, politicking in every aspect of the Liberian society. People are blinding their eyes. They don't want to see because you know what? They feel they're entitled. They're supposed to be. And the person who is leading is not. And unfortunately, the people of Liberia have spoken. They elected President George Weah. Come 2023, we're going to whoop everybody and President Weah will be re-elected.
Thank you. We are looking at the 17th anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. And we are in conversation with the chair lady of CDC USA, Madam Constance Duopu. We also have Mr. George Tule, and with me, joining me is Prince Moba, our anchor at Prime FM. At this time, if you want to join the conversation, we don't have much time left. The number is on the screen, 605-313-6004.
The code is 791403. If you are in Liberia and want to call in, Prince will announce on the radio is 0770100051. Prince, go ahead and announce the number in Morovia so we can talk to our people.
Thank you so much, Dennis. So, if you've been following us and you want to be a part of the conversation, maybe to ask a question or have a say, you can call us on 0770100051. 0770100051 is the number you can call to be a part of the program. This is Prime 105.5 FM. We are situated at the foot of the U.S. Embassy, Snapper Hill, Benson Street in Monrovia. We have a caller on the line. Dennis, we can try this. Let me see what you can get him. Good evening. Your name, where you call us from? Well, I think you're going off the line. Once again, the number is 0770100051. 0770100051 is the number you can call to be a part of the show tonight. I got a caller, Dennis. Let me tell you so. Good evening. What is your name? Where you call us from? Dennis, how does it look?
0. We don't hear anything.
All right. So just be on the line. I'm trying to adjust something here, so that again, I don't want this to.
All right.
To repeat. Yeah. Dennis, yeah. Pick us on from outside. We have it.
All right, this one is also a CDC. Say yes, that's my colleague. Yes, initially we thought CDC was a party for the masses. Unfortunately, CDC is no different from previous government. Can the people decide who their superintendent, city mayor, etc.? I'm grateful that my support for CDC gave her the presidency because a lot of us who have thought that Liberia lost an opportunity in WIA. We have a caller here on the line. And this is Elvis Morris. Elvis, you're live.
Mr. John, I just want to say quickly, we have to give credit to CDC for being only in existence for 17 years and gaining state power. You know, like I said earlier in my comments, you know, it would have been nice if Mr. Weir was, if they would have took the time to refine him to make him a better politician, But again, some of the things that Mr. Tula is sitting on this platform saying, it's quite insulting, and he has very weak skin that when somebody says something to him, he's ready to get in your feelings, or he quickly insult the president. You sit on the platform, on the other show, you're always insulting the president. Once somebody says something to him, then he's crying for somebody to protect him. What boys are bringing to the presidency that he's running for? What he did in Lofa after he got his own personal fund, he provided food for the poor of Lofa. When he sit on the platform and try to castigate the president, what he want a candidate did for the country?
So
Dennis, tell him a boy got a past tense. He did this, he did that. What we see in Lofa today? The so-called bread basket of Liberia, what are they doing? They're planting food for the country when hard time comes. So he might not be a hypocrite on the show when he come in trying to act as if to say he's being fair and balanced, but he want to take 5 shots at the president. And I want to tell Mrs. Duopu for doing a great job. I think she really articulated her point tonight. Even though a lot of George we have support.
Can you give me a chance to address him?
We have to be fair to him. Thank you again for taking my call, Mr. Jai. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Prince, any caller there? Too late? Oh, sorry.
Mama, good evening. Hello? I'm good. Dennis, can you hear you now?
Nothing.
Hello? Go ahead.
Absolutely nothing.
All right, go ahead. Make your point. I'm going to explain. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, as for me, anyway, I thank you for the show. I really enjoy the cheerleading,
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I really regret why I ever had to vote for even our development.
All right.
Because that loan can show, you get me?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, you lie, go ahead.
That loan can tell me that indeed we done made a great mistake. But I think I prefer going for George Weah again. I enjoy the cheerleading. I would even applaud her 1,000 times.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you. We'll take another caller. Good, Dennis, how does it look? How does it look, brother?
It's good.
Okay. Good evening, your name, where you come from? Go ahead, Sam. Make your point. Go ahead, you live on the radio, make your point. Hello? He gone. Good evening. you from?
My name is Cuffy, and I'm from UN Grass. And let me say good evening to you, Prince Mova.
Go ahead, brother.
Prince Mova, I did listen to the chairman of the CDC USA, and I listened to one who called himself, he said, tweet. You know, President, we are being lacked the political will, but when we talk about being lacked political will, or I get a president, we are lacked, or I get a political will, but then from the Dow International Airport to come as far as here, the B.A. Johnson, President, we are undertaking our project, like the political will. President, we are like the political will because it's not marginalizing his people. President, we are like the political will because from Gbotoe straight to Glendia, right now as we speak, they are putting quote on the reach to that particular place. President, we are like the political will. President, we are like the political will right now in Gbotoe County. The bigger hospital is built in Gbotoe will be dedicating this particular month. President, we are like the political will. President, we are like the political will. The bigger hospital for the military people. Right now, I got CDC.
Thank you, sir. We don't have one to good evening. Your name, General Mitchell, too. They two from your where you come from.
Calling from Mama Point.
Go ahead.
You know, sometimes in the country, people in our country, in Liberia, we expect them who is educated people to understand the dynamic of the Liberian constitution. They cannot understand it. Now, if someone will come on your media in that Joseph Human Archive, hasn't been rude, hasn't make fun. So then they are telling you that they never do service when they were in school. Now, address the other issue like this. When you do service and understand the constitution of Liberia, there is no way you look at a ceremonial position to accuse somebody for a wrong. Ambassador George Weah served as the main political leader for 12 years in the regime of Madam Salih, and he was appointed by Madam Salih. What these guys should be talking, if George Weah knew he was appointed by Madam Salih, and the constitution of Liberia said, one who was appointed by the president, you work on the way of pleasure of the president of the Republic of Liberia. Likewise, Honorable Natalia Falomagi, who was appointed by Manaseli in the country. Likewise, with Samar Wurukolu, who was appointed by Manaseli. These are the issues when people come on the prison media to teach and make the people to understand, to know that our country democracies are stake with these guys who coming up lying to these people. You cannot just come on and criticize or Ambassador Joseph Human, but I can just come on and criticize the Vice President Joel Howard Taylor because the role of the Vice President is clear. The Constitution of Law make it clear. These are people who does not understand civics. They will come on the media to criticize Ambassador Joseph Human, but it's a disgrace to their education that they feel that their education we went to school, we learn. They are not people to present that anyway.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, Mbokos. I'm sure Janice is getting the colors. I mean, you are getting the colors right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What is your name, my brother? Where you call us from?
Thank you. My name is Paul Cooper. I'm calling from Cardwell. Thumbs up.
Go ahead, Cooper.
I listened to the chair lady. Imagine this chair lady answer any question asked her. The answer about the proper agenda, especially the answer I got to do with what the president said, Liberia will not be spectator in the economy. And then she tried to cosmeticize it. Who told you that when they say Liberia will not be spectator in the economy, it wouldn't mean that Liberia will be able to go to bank and take loans. It also means the government ability to give contract to Liberian own company. For example, rules, when it comes to rules, to encourage Liberian children loans also businesses. But we heard that there were loans that given to one of the very educated men there, and we know what happened to it. It is sad. Then they tell they come in Liberia right now, then you can stay all in the darkness. Then they tell they come to all where the rate cannot commensurate with prices. Then she comes to that in Liberia, where UL have been closed for common renovation for over 6 months. Then she comes in Liberia where students, lot of teachers are not going to school. Then she comes in Liberia where people going to pay with hunger. And then one government that that preside over the country, you see what's all of it, counting the achievement. So can the government achievement? There's no policy, there's no sector of the country that this government has touched completely. Let me name me one sector that the government managed to transform. One. Yes, I want you to answer that question. Let me name a single sector that the government was able to transform. Nothing. This one has destroyed every family of this country. Our young guys, they are being in the news because the woman boyfriend now, they're not earning nothing to support them. So the life are being miserable. They love in our boyfriend. They are the most victim. It is bad.
Thank you so much. We take this one. Thank you, my brother. Good evening. Your name, where you call me from?
James Mulder, call from Duopu.
James, please walk from the radio. Make your point. We don't have time. We can take just 3 more from here. We'll go to the next.
Okay, get me now.
Go ahead, brother. You are clear.
Yeah, the issue is that I'm a little bit disturbed because the chairman question is not very good in details in terms of answering this question.
Which one of the chairs? Are you talking about the chairlady or
the chairlady of the CDC, which is USA Dave?
Go ahead.
Yes, because when it comes to the kind of information to the public, you should be detailing and giving some points that will you understand. When you're talking about shows, and some of the time consider the lot of school of things because as a whole of parent of studio, you should give details to your calling related to us. We can the present conditions that we have today, our whole entire country has been break down economically, infrastructure-wise, health-wise, security-wise. It's clueless. Look at the 3 representation of the US-based group regarding corruption allegation of this government particularly. It's finished. She is finished. I don't know what to touch again from actually this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take this one. I'll take one more, then we'll go to the next. Good evening. Hello?
Yes, hello, it is FOL. I'm trying to contribute the show.
Where are you calling us from?
Oh, I'm calling from the United States, from the great state of Iowa.
Go ahead.
So, Liberians will not be spectators in their own economy. What that means, let's talk about it for the minute.
Yeah.
It means for over 200 years since the existence of Liberia, 5 roads are being connected. It means the woman who lives in Fyneah will be able to bring her bitter ball to Monrovia and participate in the economy where we have the money is flowing at a higher rate. It means that the woman who in Lima County or the person who in Lima County will be able to get on the car after all the roads are completed. Will come to Monrovia the same day and go back and buy a couple of food stuff for his children and go and deliver it to his wife. It means after all the roads are connected, the families from Kano County, Grand Gita, Maryland, River G, they will be able to come to town the same day and go back to their family and get a food for a meal. Pregnant woman will be able to reach to a medical institution or a medical center without being stuck in the mud. After the roads are completed, it means the hospitals have been built throughout the country. The new redemption hospital, the full redemption was present. We are talking about rats. It was always corrupted. But redemption now you can JFK, you can say JFK right now is one of the best medical centers in our sub-region. So it was there, President Weir's speech and the next time someone that Nigerians are not participating in the economy. But when after 5 or 6 years from now, Liberia will take over the country, they will take over the economy, they will take over after the road is complete because they all bow down to road, my brother. If you don't understand, they all bow down to road. With road, there will be food coming to town. With road, there will be a good healthcare delivery. With road, there will be education delivery all over the country from east, south, north to west.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you.
Liberians are participating. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. We did the last one, John Dennis. This is the last one for this. Good evening. I'm good.
Yeah, thank you for the program tonight.
You the last caller. Be brief.
Yeah. I said thank you for the program tonight. I listened to someone, previous caller, we said GFK is the more good hospital in the region. So I'm sorry for that. Lord, we go on the next week. You will understand. And when you talk about the people, it means that let the common man, when we 100%, but let it be something that's sacred or sacred. But if you are discussing people, then you see Nathaniel Nigeria dying, people have let it bury the someone like that. They're taking people from Ghana to be there and work on the day. Let me tell you about people. I'm not a person control high school. Last year, I started 300 students. This year.
Okay, sorry we lost him. So Dennis, I don't know how was it like, but we just lost that caller there. Even though we have tons of calls coming, we can continue with that because of time.
Next time we'll start early with our calls from Monrovia because we really love hearing from them.
So how was it like tonight with the line?
It was good.
We got feedback.
Yeah, feedback was there. We're trying to set it up. We have some technical problem here, Mr. Tuli. We just try to set it up tonight.
All right. Thank you there, Prince. Before we come in to respond to our caller, let me put this one from Mr. Ikina Wesley. He said, Madam Chairlady, are you for real? Massive looting of state resources as Liberians remain hunger-stricken. Mysterious and unexplained deaths with endless police investigations. Fiasco, $25 million mop up. Missing LDs, 16 billion, 30 million, Booker stimulus package, etc., etc. And not Rosalind Van Lizzie, Madam Chairlady, you are a powerhouse, dealing with them one by one. Those are the two comments now from our callers. Let me take one more caller here from our line here. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Well, my name is Harrison Brajivo. I'm calling from Des Moines, Iowa.
Go ahead, Harrison.
Yeah, I've been listening to other people calling and talking about the success. But in the first place, we even talking about development. What are we doing? What are we doing development for people? Okay, we are doing development for the people that occupy that land space. So people are dying. Almost every two or three days, people dying. There's no law and order. When somebody killed, that person is protected by the police instead of that person being in custody until investigation can be conducted. We are seeing criminals, people that kill people are being highly protected by a government that's supposed to protect our citizens. One example is this government setting. Okay, even if the promises the president made. And he's now trying to go for 6 more years. And we look at all of these promises that he made during the campaign period. What has he accomplished that will encourage us to say, yeah, this man fulfilled his promises or he has fulfilled half of them? Number one, he talk about, coastal highway. How far is that coastal highway? And where is the coastal highway? How far has it gone? That's one of the major promises they made. They talk about, I don't know how many $1 million from Eton. We didn't see nothing. Igbo man, nothing. Now they call him bad road medicine. But everywhere from George, we have once, even the third election, every time he goes, he win higher in Grand Gide. From Ghana to Grand Gide, no road. Okay? What has the president accomplished?
Thank you.
Money doesn't make it. No accountability. They print money. Right now, the problem we have in Liberia is $100 bill and $50 bill. Okay? People making businesses. If you go back up, one bag of cold water that costs $5, you wouldn't have $50 bill and $100 bill, and nobody have change. So why is the betterment? Why is the government doing that? We should go and vote for them for them.
Thank you.
Nothing this government is doing, and I just want to end there.
Thank you.
Tell these people that nobody here, we sit out here because people in Labrador give us money to open places to go and talk for them. We know what is going on.
Thank you.
Like, no government going on there. In my own country right now, the Burkina Faso all taking over, they damaging the whole forest.
And we're going to have a show. We're going to have a show on that. But thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, the government of Labrador has always stressed conservation of our forest.
Thank you, Harrison.
The complaint to everywhere, nobody is coming to the aid. Anyway, thank you that you say you have a program on that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are about to close. All right. Madam Chairlady, you got our ear 4 years old, and our time is winding down because we are on the radio, so we need to be straight with our time. We're already 14 minutes. And so quickly, Alex, are you there? I want to get your response to our callers. Mr. Cuffy. Yes, I'm here now. Yeah, I know you got bits and pieces, and I don't know where were you when I was reading my poem that was sent to me, but go ahead.
Yeah, I had to, I'm going on a road trip with my family.
Yes.
I'm trying to finish work at the same time, getting visitors. So in fact, Dennis, you made me late to pick up my rental car.
Oh, no.
So that's, my wife just came, so you're not going for the car. I said, oh my God. And then this is America. I was trying to tell the guy, I said, my man, I'll be there 5 minutes late. I was on the phone. The guy said, 6 o'clock, we close. So come back tomorrow. All right. So, yeah, read your poem.
Yeah, I wanted your response.
I must apologize to the
Yeah. Let me read this again. It was sent to me because they knew I was doing this show. And it's entitled 17 years. 17 years, what the Liberians get in return. Use US dollars mop up to launder the missing Liberian dollar. Sold diplomatic passports to international criminals. Increased inflation. Increased unemployment. Failed pro-poor agenda that led to an additional 2% of Liberia falling into poverty. For the first time in recent history, the president of Liberia cannot meet a sitting US president. Misappropriation of donor funds. Misappropriation of road funds. U.S. report shows the government is actively participating in money laundering with Prince Johnson. 10, and all the while, the president flies in a jet and partied like a rock star. 17 years, Go ahead, your response, Alex. All right. Alex is frozen there. Let's go to Alex. Are you with us now?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You like the poem?
I'm having so much challenges with my system and.
All right, let's go to Constance to respond to some of our callers. Constance, let's take 2 minutes to respond, please.
Oh, thank you very much for having me tonight. I think we made a case and our people listen. Let them be the judge. And for the person that says 17 years, and money laundering and that whole thing, it's not even a balanced conversation that we can keep, because if you want to say this,
you responded to that already. I wanted Alice to respond to, so you can respond to the callers.
Okay, to the callers, I think they did us good. Some of them said we made the case for our institution, the CDC-led government. Others felt we didn't. They were frustrated. But one thing I want the Liberian people to understand is that change is not the rain came down and it just subsided. It doesn't work that way. It's a collective effort. And as the government is doing its part, the citizens on their part, they have to play their part. You do not wake up one morning and a house is built in one day time. No. You talk about road connectivity, you see roads are being built. It's not going to happen one day. It's one project, you take 16 kilometers at a time, you complete it, you move to the next one. You talk about the hospitals. First in the history of Republic of Liberia, now You have people not flying to Ghana. You have dialysis machine. You have other things. It's a person. Somebody talk about people dying every day. Death is inevitable. People die every day. All over the world, people die. Even in the great United States of America, people die more here because the population is high. So I don't know what people are looking for. Liberian people, we need to understand, we need to appreciate. If we done, like 1990, people were jumping all over the place. The country is bad. They say your child stayed up, and these people are coming to liberate. What did we see? Do not allow these politicians, failed politicians who say they are educated but have no substance to show. They say they are educated, but they could not win an election and lead. They could not work their own plan. The man who Mr. George Kennedy or Tule is saying is not educated was able to work his plan. If you have a plan, you are educated, you should work your plan until you succeed. That's what is your education. What is your education if you cannot accomplish the simple things that you plan to accomplish? President Weah indeed is a visionary. He saw it. It's an opportunity. He made use of it. He worked his plan. He carved his plan. He implementing the plan. Liberian people, after 12 years, you always sit back and see and say, yes, thank God. And you know what? People are just frustrated, and because you know what? Moses, I will just leave you with this. Moses led the children of Israel for how many years? He did not enter that promised land. What happened to a lot of Liberians? They fail to realize that because you part of their institution, because you work there, you have to be. Sometimes it doesn't work. And it would be good if Liberian people, if we learn to work together. President Weah has set the stage. He has brought Liberian people together. Those who feel certain people shouldn't be in government, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. With your education, I will admonish you. If you feel you are Liberian who is so qualified that you are not in government, let that education help you to come up with a plan that will help you to work your plan and for you to accomplish your goal. The people that are there, they work so hard and they have a vision for the Liberian people. And Liberians have seen that President Weah is the way forward. 2023, President Weah will be re-elected to deliver Liberia out of poverty. It's not going to happen one day. It's the mindset. We have to educate our people and change them. So thank you very much for having me, and I will be glad to be back on the show to tell our people that change is also the change of the mind. You have to change the way you think.
I gotta go, bro. If you talk, then let us get
and you know, it's the mindset, Tule. It's the mindset.
Change your
mindset.
Oh,
thank you. Few comments here before Tule come in. I see your cheer say, give credit where credit is due. You guys sit here in America and complain and complain. What are your solutions? What are you doing to help the young people educated? And by the way, Mr. Chia is also in America. So I don't know where he's coming from with this sit in America thing. He says some of them cannot. Okay. And then Mansfield Duopu say, is that how a poem is written? Opposition talking points. So that's a response to the poem that was written. So Mr. Tule, Mr. Alex, are you ready now?
Yeah.
John, I gotta talk. I gotta go.
Okay, go. Make your point and you can go.
Let me make my point and go. Somebody came and said, I just spoke the truth that a man is not an academic. He doesn't read. He's not interested in governance. He's never been. He doesn't go to work. I've had friends who have been waiting to meet with the man. The man come to the office 11 o'clock in the morning, goes and eats, sit and talk gibberish, and then he leaves at 1:30 or 2 o'clock and goes back home. The man not interested in governance. He's not. The person who runs the things in government that McGill. And today, I mentioned it earlier, and I will reiterate my point. Today, the students at the University of Liberia, this is uncommon. It's not something that's always seen. Those people, those young people jeered McGill and Twe today. Very, very embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing. and that is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. So when you hear, it is our right as Liberians to criticize our government. And let me tell you something, Mrs. Duopu. I love my life the way it is. You know the reason why? When two of them leave power, they'll be looking over their shoulder to see who coming after them to catch them for Liberian money that they have stolen. Guess what? Guess what? My eating bowl not in anybody's house. If I eat in Liberia, will not be in George Weah's house. When George Weah was asking Bernard Yu to buy a ticket for him, I was running projects and making $30,000 every 3 months, 4 months from companies in Liberia on my own. So I don't need anybody. I was successful in Liberia. I didn't leave Liberia because I was hungry or because I wanted better opportunities in the West. I left Liberia for a reason. And even where I am, I have added value to my life. I'm adding value to my life. Right now, I work for a multinational. I don't need what people can say, oh, corporate. Myself, I got my piece of corporate space too. So I can go to every morning. I drive 1 hour, 30 minutes in the morning to go sit down in my little corporate cubicle too. Okay? So we're not talking because we envious of people who in government. I will never work for government. I've always said this. The thing that they can do, I don't have the grace to work in a place that doesn't have structure, that doesn't have a vision, just to be there every day looking for money to live, to buy cars and live in big houses. That's all. I'll pay my own house from my own pocket, working honestly. And when I get old, I will be happy to sit down in front of my house because I know nobody will pass in my house and spit and say, this man working government, he stole how he built this house. It will not happen with me. So when we come on the show, I just want to say one more thing, Dennis. We come on the show is because of our passion for Liberia. The few roads, Mrs. Duopu, that have been built. I got a picture of my cousin just coming from Lofa. He took his time and he got out from the car and took pictures. The road that is being built, he said he drove for like 9 minutes on the road that have been built so far. And it's not right now. It's less in terms of quality to the road that was built to Buchanan by Madam Salif. The people on that road are joking because and I can tell you the reason. And one of the things that he mentioned that caught my attention is that the road is very narrow, and that leads to more accidents. And the only reason why that road is narrow because that's why I told you from the beginning, when governments place emphasis on capital projects, the reason they do it is because of the amount of kickback they can get from capital projects. The reason why that road is narrow, somebody decided to make the road narrow so I can get the extra money that's supposed to be part of it, that you're supposed to use to make the road wider. Give me that money instead of putting it on the ground because the people who drive that road going to Lofa, their blood is not important. So the reason why we come on this show, the reason why we go on any show, the reason why we speak to these issues, I told you I was on King's FM and I used to criticize Madam Salif. And Madam Salif did us even more injustice by ensuring that George Weah becomes president. And to your point, it wasn't only Madam Salif, the Liberian people wanted this thing. They had to accomplish this, make George Weah president and remove the doubt. He either succeeded or he failed. And I'll tell you something, George Weah is a colossal failure in every way. That's all I have come to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cuffy.
Yes, sir, Dennis. I gotta apologize for the difficulties, but
yeah, we're wrapping up now.
Yeah, you pulled me into this thing at the time when I had.
Let's leave that other one, Mr. Cuffy.
So I think, to capture it all, I think the CDC is 17 years old. 17 years. This is where we are. All right. Yes, people may have sort of bagging on the popularity of George Weah, like I said, and it's also could be true that George Weah himself, phantomed the presidency thing at the same time when all these people were approaching him. There were a lot of people that put a lot of things together, the foundation of the party, the manifesto.
and had a lot of interaction with Weah, because the intention was he may not have had all these things in education and stuff like that, but if you want to lead your people, if you want to redeem your people, if the people see you as their embodiment, then you put your best foot forward. That best foot also means bring the right people along. All right? Bring a lot of the right people along. And CDC was not short of the right people. And I would say that unfortunately, then things may have happened along the way from 2005 to 2011 to 2017. A lot of things must have happened on the way, and a lot of things changed in the process. So unfortunately and regrettably, when CDC got to the finish line, all that vision and all that, plans and everything else we had that to deliver on the aspiration of the Liberian people, it began to show its other face. Could we have done better? Could we do better? Yes. But unfortunately, there may have been some hidden agenda all along the way that showed its ugly face at the finish line.
Thank you.
Hence, a lot of the good people, a lot of the good human resources who could have been in charge to make things happen, unfortunately, they were put by the wayside. And we could have been better. George Weah could have been a better president for the Liberian people. But in my opinion, unfortunately, and I believe in a lot of people, Liberian people's opinion, that is not happening.
He is a better president.
Thank you, Prince. It is late now in Monrovia for our guys to get home. So, Prince, let's close your closing comment. Let's close us tonight. Go ahead, Prince. Let us close.
Nothing much to say. Let me say thanks to the cheerleader. Let me just inform you while you were on the show. I shared a video with the CDC General Akaros Gray. He monitored you. I invited you to be on Monday. You consented, so we're going to work around that. If it works out, Honorable will be our guest on Monday. So it's not easy. I mean, some of the things we go through, we don't have current here, so we just afraid in the street after 11:30. Those are some of the things we're going through here with the government. So you have to
we went through it too with Charles Taylor government, other government, even during the 80s and the 1779. So
sorry, Prince, please conclude. We need to close and go.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Tomorrow, join us for Tough Talking Thursday. We're going to continue the discussion on the report being released by Alaco and Omnicom on the CPP framework document. Again, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Alex. We want to thank our viewers for being here. Always focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. On that note, and to be fair, on that note, we want to close with our song that says, "We are all Liberians." Madam Chair, you still want to say something?
Oh,
go ahead.
Thank you very much. And I just want to let Alex and all the Liberian people know that our president Weah is our best president, and it is not he would have been. He is the best president we have ever had in Liberia.
Madam Chair, your opinion is like gnosis. You are entitled to your opinion, so am I.
Yes, no, I know that. I just wanted to share my opinion on that subject matter too. That's all. That, I wanted Liberian people to not just go with you saying, oh, he would have been. I want them to also hear that he is the best president Liberia have ever had. So on that note, thank you very much. And I look forward to returning to this platform and making my case for 2023, why we should be re-elected. Thank you very much.
Constance, you're my sister, so I couldn't be on a show with you and we go, head to head.
I know.
I had to take a back seat.
Yes, I like that. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, I understand your sister and brotherhood, but if issues are to be discussed, please be open and frank with us and discuss them. We don't want you to
Well,
not
have
say
I not
something
been
because
frank
that's
with
your sister.
my statement?
Oh no, I just wanted to make sure that
No, I
Oh
said
no,
I wouldn't.
nothing
I
passion
made
here.
my
We all talk what
statements.
we stand for. I believe that this president is the best president, and I stand by that, and he would be re-elected.
Thank you. On that note, we want to say
Thank you
we are
very
all
much.
Liberians, and let us do whatever it takes to make our country the glorious land of liberty. That's the song that's taking us home.
Thank you.
We are Liberians.